Hey everybody, it's the interview queen, Alicia Atout here, and I am super, super excited to welcome you all to my interview with Jake from August Burns Red. Hello.
Hey, how are you? How you doing?
I'm doing well, hanging in there. How have you been? How are you keeping sane with everything going on right now?
Yeah, I'm doing really well. It's really unfortunate everything that's going on, but it is nice to be home and work on my house and spend time with my French bulldog Winston Finnegan. He's like my best friend, so we go take walks around the neighborhood and play in the backyard and stuff, and just really excited about the release of our new record, ABR's new record coming out, and then, just trying to do like gym stuff in my garage and keep myself from, getting a little crazy.
Are you one of the lucky people now who, as soon as you noticed gyms were closed, you were like, oh my gosh, thank you that I have like kind of a home gym set up for me right now? Because so many people are SOL.
Yeah, I know. Yes, I am. I actually, once I got home from our tour being postponed, I
Right.
went to I went to a Dick's Sporting Goods and just picked up some like last little items like some dumbbells and a training cycle and things like that. So I have enough to hold me over. I don't have like a full sweet killer full blown gym in my garage, but I've definitely
Right.
got bench and dumbbells and everything else. So it works for me really well. And what's kind of cool is I'm teaming up with Fearless Records, my record label, and we're gonna do like a body weight fitness program for free for
Oh, no
people
way.
who, people who are just like they're at home and they're like, man, like I want to go to a gym, or maybe they're beginners and they haven't really done an exercise program. We just wanted to do something to help people with their physical fitness at home since they can't go anywhere. So we're gonna be releasing that shortly, and so I've been kind of putting a lot of time into that too, just building that whole thing out.
It sounds like you've been making such good use of this downtime. I know it's really rare for you guys between recording the new record and now, coming back from that big tour. So I guess you kind of just have to take it as it comes, right?
Yeah, it is unfortunate. I mean, the Kill Switch Engage tour that we were on, we only got 3 days in, and then we had to go home. I know that there are talks about it being rescheduled and everything, because that was going to just be an awesome killer tour for us. And obviously, with the release of our record, it was going to be like right on that tour and things. But again, it's like you try to stay positive and find the good in things when things get tough like they are right now. And so it's like just being home, especially for like the bandmates that have like families, and kids. It's like they get to go spend time with their families with like they wouldn't be, and
Yeah.
so it's just trying to like stay positive, encourage the people around you, and kind of be thankful for like the little things that we've got.
Yeah, it's all about finding those silver linings. Now, we're going to take the talk from talking about a little bit more of the down stuff to something super exciting. We've mentioned the album, so we must talk Guardians. I feel like fans have been so, so excited, waiting for a release. It's been 3 years since the release of your last record. So do you still get that post or pre-release anxiety and excitement heading into releasing an album, especially with how many records you have under your belt already?
Yes, definitely. We always get a little uh, anxious with excitement, and then anxious with worry, because it's a new piece of art. It's never going to be like the old. It might have some similarities, and obviously we're going to stay true to our roots, but we also are artists and we want to expand our boundaries with each release. So yeah, sometimes it's a little shaky, but our fan base has received this new material very well and they really enjoy it. And so like obviously we're like, yay, like that's exciting for us. But um, we also really feel like we were going to postpone the release of the record because of the coronavirus and everything that's going on. But then we realized that the lyrical content on the record is definitely definitely suits the situation that we're in. So um, I think that kind of adds a little bit to it, where it's not just like, hey, these guys wrote a great record or music that we love. I think additionally, some of the lyrical content talking about unity and community and choosing to love others, whether they're fit your religious views or your political, views. That extra, I think, goes a long way because people are home and they need that encouragement or they need that time
Absolutely.
to, get that perspective. And so our lyrical content on this record is really engaging our fans on a deeper level than it has in the past.
I definitely noticed that from a few of the singles you've put out, prior to its release. And something else that stood out to me extremely was these songs are so heavy. And I mean, you're known for having heavy music, but I feel like this has to be some of the heaviest material you've released to date. And not just when it comes to the breakdowns, like through and through. So was that something you went into the studio wanting to do, or did it just happen really naturally and that's how the songs turned out?
Yeah. So what's funny is I think initially, like in the beginning, some of the songwriting was actually pretty like soft.
Oh,
Um,
you wouldn't know.
yeah, like lighter, and then I think as the record was being written, it just got heavier and heavier and more aggressive and more aggressive, and then now overall we just have this animal, that's just like really, yeah, just really heavy and really like I don't know. It's got a lot of punch in it. And so that wasn't intentional. Like we weren't like, we're going to write a heavy record. But I will say that Grant and Carson, both of our engineers who have been working with us for the past, like, I don't know, 4 albums, pulled Dustin and JB aside, who are like the main songwriters of the band. And they said, look, we want you guys to write the heaviest song you've ever written. And Dustin and JB kind of look at each other like, okay.
Yeah,
And
we're,
so
we're
they
up for the
went,
task.
yeah, and they wrote literally the heaviest freaking song we've ever written to date is on this album. So it's like the record was like supposed to be initially was written and wasn't that hard. Then it started to get aggressive, and then they asked for this one song, and then it got so yeah, it wasn't. I don't think necessarily that the direction and vision was to be this heavy, but it definitely turned out to be a pack full, a big
Yeah,
a
that
big
I
a
mean,
big punch.
I'm glad that that's the way. I'm glad that, the engineers kind of put them up to that task and they were definitely able to live up to it and deliver. So I'm excited to hear the rest of it and just how heavy you guys actually get. It's really
Yeah,
bad what you've released so far.
thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, we're definitely happy with how the record came out overall, and because it's a big task, and there is a lot of like stresses, and you've got to work as a body. Like I keep um, sharing this with people. It's like two hands can do a lot more than just one, and so when it comes to a band, like everybody has a gift and they've got tools, and so it's like, well, we have a choice here. Are we going to work together and really make the best album we can, or are we going to just try to single-handedly try to do what we want, and then it come together. And I think because of understanding grace and humility, we were able to really collaborate on another level than we've done in the past, and therefore the product is better. And that's what I think happened in this process.
It's seriously amazing to see how many hands there are in the band. And then you think about the fact that for the last decade, it actually has been the same people. That's such a rarity in music, especially as of, I think the last 5-10 years, so many bands just kind of fall apart and fizzle. So the fact you guys are
Right.
still going strong in that sense and you know each other's ins and outs, it must make it a lot easier to work and not get into those, little contests in the studio that you hear about from other groups.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, well, and the other thing too is that because we've just learned to understand one another so well over the years, it's like we're not trying to, hurt someone's feelings, or we're not trying to, you know, um, push someone's buttons. Like we know what it takes to push your buttons. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like people know how I operate. So it's like Brent knows to get me upset what to do, but we don't want that. Like we've been doing this for a long time. We've been like through so much together, and every single band member has had to come up to some other band member at some point in time and like lift them up,
Yeah.
just pick them up and carry them across the finish line. And so like when everyone's had their turns of doing that, it's like, man, I want the best for my guys. I want them to be successful. I want them to feel loved. I want them to feel respected and honored. I want I want this thing to move in unity and just like, continue down the path that we're going. And so like, yeah, we've just learned that, grace and humility and forgiveness is the way to go if you want something to have longevity.
It's cheesy, but you guys really have shown that you are completely one another's guardians in that sense, which is a really lovely thing.
Yeah, it is. I mean, talking about the title of the record, like that's totally what we want to go for. Like the overall message of the Record Guardians is the fact that we're kind of asking our community and our listeners to go be guardians for other people in their lives. So like, because everybody has the power and the choice to go love somebody or nurture them or lift them up or, walk beside them or choose to, engage them rather than shun them and shame them. Right. So it's like, and I think that's a perfect message for what we're dealing with now. Like, think of it like the elderly, they need our help, the people with autoimmune disease or a disability, like there are people around us that are at stake and we can be their guardians and we can help them. We can go to the grocery store. We can stop going out on spring break. We can, you know what I mean? We can limit our social distancing, practice social distancing and limit our engagement face to face. And, we can do so many different things to help build our community. And so I think that the record is really trying to encourage the listener to engage themselves and start loving themselves and others.
Yeah, it's completely bizarre, the timing of the lyrical content of this album mixed with everything going on, but I mean,
it's kind of creepy.
Yeah, it's very strange.
Yeah.
Well, one thing we were talking about before we started recording this was the fact that I not only interview musicians, but also wrestlers. So I was curious, if you could have an in-ring gimmick, what do you think that would be?
An entering gimmick? Like
an in-ring gimmick. So do you think if you were a wrestler, would you be a good guy, a bad guy?
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm not a very big guy, like I'm not like a... So, I would probably be one of those like slimy bad guys, the ones that are like always like, doing the stuff behind the refs' backs, or whatever, and like, doing the cheap shots and things. I could definitely see me being just a total schmuck in the ring, just a piece of trash, dude, just straight up. Everybody hates them. Even the guys who love the bad guys hate me anyways because I'm just trash. That's what I would want to be, just a total complete dump.
I'm envisioning it. I gotta say, you're not coming off like that now, but you never know, when people hit that ring, their music hits, they completely change. So,
dude, well, I mean, it's performing, right? It's acting. Like
totally.
I would love to be just this trashy schmucky guy, like in the ring, like that would be so much fun. Like I'm friends with Enzo, which we had briefly talked about him. And, like him and I talk about acting and character build and stuff. And like, just where that guy's mind goes to like build his persona and character and like all these things. It's so cool. Like he's in my opinion, one of the most elite top performers in his field because of the way he just carries himself and engages. And then when I have like a heart to heart with him, he's the most like humble, loving, gracious, gentle. And like, we've had some like real conversations and it's just like, man, it's so cool to be able to watch somebody just completely absorb, a character and perform for the world and then actually be like this loving, gentle being, it's super cool.
It's super cool because I find the harder they are in the ring and like the more aggressive they are and, the more sleazy they are, as soon as they come to the back, they are the sweetest human beings. It's always the case. And it's almost like with music, I find when I interview bands, like the heavier the music, the more gentle the people are. It's very bizarre, but it's just something, you discover.
Do you know why it is? I think this is just a theory. So I think that the reason why guys are more, people in bands and heavier bands are more gentle, is because they get all that aggression out
Right.
in the music. Like every night, I'm screaming at the top of my lungs for an
Very true.
hour and a half. So like, I'm done. I've spent all my aggression. If I've got any built up anger or anxiety or stress, I'm gonna release it on stage. So when I come back, dude, I'm just chill, man. I'm like, what's up? Let's
Good
have a slice of
therapy.
pizza. Yeah, that's what I want. A slice of pizza. Okay, that's all I want is a slice of pizza.
Everyone needs a good screaming session, then like all our problems would be solved, just no more anger.
Yeah, wouldn't that be amazing? So yeah,
Seriously.
I think that's where what happens there.
Yeah, I think we're on to something.
I think so.
Well, I just want to say thank you so much for taking the time to hop on here.
Of
I
course.
mentioned, before we started recording this, but for people watching, the last time I interviewed August Burns Red was 5 years ago. So I'm just super happy to have you back on. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate your time, and thanks to everybody who's checking this out. Really appreciate it. Hope you enjoy the record, and yeah, we'll see you around.
Absolutely. Everyone, be sure to check out Guardians and hit up aliciaatout.com for all exclusive interviews and features. We'll see you next time. Bye.